What up? What up? Top of the top. What's popping? What's cracking? What's good? Good morning to the people. You know what I'm saying? We got some things to talk about today. Once again, we got a new year, and it looked like it's a lot of madness still going on. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, we're gonna get through. You know what I'm saying? Salute to the chat. Good morning, family. J.E. Allen. What's up? We about to lock and load. Know what time it is. But today I got a few things to talk about, so I'm not going to be wasting no time today. And the first thing I'm going to be talking about, you know what I'm saying, is the rapper J Stash commit suicide after killing a mother in front of her children. You know what I'm saying? It happened yesterday, or the news was reported yesterday. But it's some other details going on in this case. You know what I'm saying? What I mean by that is, a lot of people losing their mind. I'm just gonna leave it at that. You know what I'm saying? I'm also gonna be talking about the comedian COREYHOLCOMB from the 85 South show, and he says that Rick Ross is gay, allegedly. You know what I'm saying? And I'm also gonna be talking about how Freddie Gibbs went off on Uncle Murder. And he dissed Uncle Murder the other day, you know what I'm saying? Because he wasn't feeling that 2021 wrap up. So I'm gonna be talking about that as well. You dig? And I got a few other things I'm gonna be talking about. This is the 4Nofame primetime episode 74, aka the 4Nofame live episode 74. You dig? Because whenever I come on, it's prime time. You heard? The early bird get the worm. Good morning, Kimberly. Good morning. How y'all doing this morning? All right. So I'm about to get into this situation first. First things first. And that's dealing with, you know what I'm saying, the rapper Stash, J Stash. He reportedly committed suicide after killing a mother of 3 in front of the kids. The 28-year-old rapper J Stash, you know, he recently, allegedly, you know what I'm saying, he took this woman out in front of her kids. You know what I'm saying? At the end, and when it was all said and done, he took his own life as well. Now, the alleged incident is said to have taken place in front of the kids. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I'm trying to tell you. I done heard this story a whole bunch of times this year already. I've been hearing it just from regular individuals. That's dudes that are taking the mother of the children out and then taking themselves out, and they doing it in front of the kids. And we already know this is causing a lot of trauma amongst the kids. So they say, according to the news report, and this happened in Los Angeles, the rapper J Stash killed the mother of 3 children in front of them before taking his own life in a murder. And also was a domestic violence attack in Temp City, that's where they lived at, which is near Los Angeles. J Stash, whose real name is Justin Joseph, was 28 years old. Reports from the LA Sheriff Department say that they responded to a domestic dispute call over the weekend and found that Joseph took 27-year-old Jeanette Gallegos' life in front of her 3 children. Gallegos was found with multiple gunshot wounds, while Joseph was found with one self-inflicted gunshot wound, and that probably was in his head. You know what I'm saying? The woman's children, who range from 5 to 11, were found unharmed and removed from the scene. It has been reported that Joseph was dating Gallegos, but that report has yet not to be confirmed. So we already see what's going on right here. It sounds like to me we got another individual that has lost his mind. Because anytime you're going to use a gun on a woman and allegedly shoot her up in front of her kids, ages 5 to 11, and then take your own life, that means it was something foul about this dude. Something was very, very foul about this dude. You know what I'm saying? Salute Mike Flame for the donations. I appreciate that, bro. We got to look at this for what it is. We got to understand something. Now, you know, we've been hearing a lot about mental health, and we know this man had to have mental health issues. But I want to speak on something else that a lot of people don't look at. See, a lot of these, in my opinion, when a dude be trying to kill a female, a lot of time these dudes be trying to silence that female because a lot of these females, they know all your secrets, they know how you get down, and they know a lot of things about you. So a lot of time, these dudes be trying to silence these women because other than being crazy, I don't see no way how a man could even have something like that in his mind to try to take a woman out. And like I said, a lot of women got a lot of dirt on dudes, period. They know a lot of the secrets. So you got some dudes, they'd rather take a woman out before they get exposed. You know what I'm saying? And that's just my opinion. But we seeing this happen again and again of dudes putting a hammer, putting that flame, putting that heat on women. And we know ain't no woman that much of a threat where you got to shoot her multiple times. You know what I'm saying? Like I told y'all, the best scenario to do is just walk away. Just walk away. When you leave a woman, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes that could be like taking her out right there. Just cut her water off and keep it pushing. You know what I'm saying? Or sometimes you might leave a woman and you might be doing her a favor. But my point is, if you just leave a woman alone, you get to live another day. Because it don't make no sense when you try to kill a woman and then take your own life. Or you kill a woman and you go to jail for life. You see, those are traits and behavior of weirdos. And it's a lot of weirdos walking around with fresh clothes on. They got jewelry, nice cars, and they calling themselves rappers. Or they got good jobs, but a lot of them are weirdos. They are sick in the head. And you got to remember, it's the sickest individuals that know how to make themselves look the most appealing and make themselves look like they are the most calmest people. That's why you got to be highly selective of who you deal with, especially who you bring around your kids. Because some women will bring any man around their kids as long as he show that he got some money. He got a car. He got some things going on in his life. Some women will bring any man around their kids. And for those that listen to me, you already know what I said. You're going to meet a dude, you dealing with a dude, you better meet that dude at the hotel. You heard? You better smash at the hotel. When y'all go out, y'all better go out to eat in public. You know what I'm saying? Stop bringing weirdos around your kids, because this was another weirdo. And guess what? He took this woman out in front of her kids, and those wasn't even his kids. You see? And that, as of right now, all this is alleged information, but this is what they saying is going on. And this happened in Los Angeles. You know what I'm saying? So we know he was a coward for the simple fact he had to use gunfire on a woman, and then he took himself out. We know he was a coward. We ain't got to question that. He was a weirdo. He was a lunatic. He was a sucker. All the above. Because it's no woman worth in this world of using gunfire against. You did? Domestic violence. And we know a lot of domestic violence comes from that control factor. It's them same dudes. They can't control nothing on the street. They can't get nobody to listen to them because nobody respect them. So they want to start putting hands and feet on women because even she don't want to listen to you. And like I said, a lot of these women be having dirt on dudes. And you know how women mouth is. They'll blow you up. They'll expose you. And a lot of dudes, they're trying to shut a woman up. You know what I'm saying? So they want to take them out. I'm not saying that happened in this case, but these are different scenarios when you're dealing with a weak individual, a coward. You feel me? A coward always going to try to take you out when you stand for something that's real. That goes for everybody. You know what I'm saying? Salute to the chat. Good morning. I see y'all. I see y'all, family. G Mac 914. What up, Grown Man P? You heard? Grown Man Talk is the channel. Get it right. Y'all already know what time it is. What's up, Rain? I see y'all pulling up, man. We got some business we got to get into this morning. So I got to stay focused on what's going on right now, man, because we seeing this happen over and over again. This just happened to be the rapper by the name of Stash. And you starting to see how rappers are becoming weirdos. Like a man that wants to rap, he's starting to get put in that loon ball category. You heard? Especially if you're not a teenager, if you're not a young boy. And once you start getting to 30 and you over 30 and you start pushing 40, you start becoming a weirdo. Because we know between reality and being a rapper is a thin line. We know this already. You know what I'm saying? I used to chase the rap game. Don't get it twisted. I'm not a hypocrite. But I knew it was a time to leave it alone. You dig? And not saying I lost my creativity, but I'm talking about if you ever see me rapping or getting into the music game, it's a hobby. You know what I'm saying? It's a hobby. It ain't no dream. You know what I'm saying? It ain't nothing that I feel like if I get it popping, I'm gonna change my life. That's a false reality for a grown man. And after a while, as a grown man, you'll start dumbing down and becoming mentally ill. Because in your mind, you think you're gonna blow up. And you don't want to do nothing that's real. You don't want to create nothing real for yourself. You want to keep that dream that you had in your mind as a child that one day you're gonna blow up and make it big. And that's really what start causing mental health. Why? Because you with a woman and bills got to get paid. You know, kids need clothes on their back and you trying to be a rapper. You still in your mind think you're going to blow. It's all about you. So that's when you start becoming a weirdo and a lunatic and you start chasing false dreams. And reality is them bills got to be paid at the first of the month. That refrigerator got to be filled up weekly. You dig? And you start losing tune with reality because you want to be a rapper. Then a little money you get, it got to go to your image of getting clothes and jewelry. And you got to keep this lie going, paying for studio time. And you taking out your household. And we know that a lot of men have done this for years. And they still won't let it go. And we know a lot of women have stuck by a lot of dudes who was trying to be rappers and fulfill their career. You know what I'm saying? We know this. A lot of women have sacrificed their household trying to help dudes get on in a rap game. Yeah, baby, you can rap, do your thing. I got your back. Or then he want to flip it on you, say you hating on him, or if you don't want to support his career, you a hater. You know what I'm saying? But my point is, that's a false reality. You know, that's like when you waving a steak in front of a dog and you trying to train them, you know what I'm saying, to do what you want them to do. That's how these dudes do. They want to be in a rap game so much. So all the elite, they just hold that rap game in front of their face and wave it and make them think one day they're going to get that rap game. They're going to get that steak, you heard? But the whole time, these same dudes, their households fall apart. You know what I'm saying? They end up in poverty because they want to be rappers. And you got some dudes been trying to be rappers for damn near 10, 20 years. You heard? Ain't got no clean background. Ain't got no resume, no credentials, no references, no nothing. But they still want to rap. So I'm showing you how, guess what? Even the rap game have made some dudes suffer from mental health because it is a sickness when you're trying to chase a rap career. Think about it. It's supposed to be a hobby. It's supposed to be something you do like dancing at a party. It's supposed to be something like going out enjoying yourself. But they have taken rap and dudes, grown men have put years invested into nothing. So my point is, for this so-called rapper to bust some shots in a woman and then take himself out, we know he had to be a lunatic. And notice how they put the key word rapper in the whole situation. A rapper named Stash. Allegedly, they say from Brooklyn. I seen another report say it was from somewhere else. I don't know, because I don't know this dude. But now look, it took for him to take this woman out, to take himself out, for him to finally get national recognition. You see that? So even the recognition he wanted, he got it when he was dead already. So that's why I'm showing you how trying to be a rapper at a certain age becomes a form of mental health and a sickness. Because you're not in reality. You dig? And I don't want to hang around no dude talking about he want to be a rapper no more. And he at a certain age. You feel me? If you ain't young, if you pushing 30 and all that, I don't want to hear about you being no rapper. You can't hang around me. Unless you really got your stuff, unless you really got it together and you popping like that. Other than that, you still chasing dreams, talking about you going to the studio and you trying to do this, you trying to do that. I ain't with all that. You heard? Because these dudes are becoming weirdos. And you got to understand, rappers are being slandered. Remember, they being a poster child for crime now. They being a poster child for lunatic behavior. You heard? The entertainers, they name getting put in traffic situations. They name getting put in raping allegations. It's like these entertainers are becoming the weirdos of America now. Or that's the picture they're trying to paint. So you got to understand that whole entertainment and reality, it's a thin line, but it's really over with for that entertainment. I'm going to let you know that right now. It's really over with. You know what I'm saying? It's only as good as they can make money off you. Once they can't make money off you, or they felt like they made what they needed to make, you up out of here. You disposable. And they'll find another mentally sick dude that want to be a rapper or entertainer. They just find another one. That's what they do. Throw you in the trash and get another one. Simple. But this has all been going on ever since they said that they've been using hip-hop as a weapon against us. And we see for a fact that hip-hop is a weapon. We see it. It's simple and plain. It's a mind control program now. It didn't start out like that, but now it's a program that you can take hip-hop, rap music, program it into someone's mind, and they become separated from reality. Put it like that. There was a good kid, but rap, hip-hop could make them think they're a gangster. There was a good kid, hip-hop could make them think they could sell drugs and win. You know what I'm saying? It started making them think they could have the most beautifulest woman in the world when this dude was always told he was ugly. But you got to understand that this is mind control, and these dudes are under hypnosis, and their brains are fried. You understand? You gotta know what time it is. Anytime a rapper or this dude who wants to be a rapper took his woman out and took himself out in front of her kids, you know this man was sick. And that's also something else that's trending in America because people are folded in a pandemic. This is not the first time I heard about this. About dudes letting that gun go on the woman they with, say they love, and doing it in front of the kids. I know one situation where the dude was a coward. He didn't kill himself. He tried to go on a run. He got caught. But he killed his baby moms and this particular dude, he killed one of the kids. And this happened in Elizabeth City, NC. You dig? The dude killed the baby mother and killed one of his kids, or killed one of her kids. And he tried to go on a run like a sucker, but he got caught. So this is what's going on. Just like I told you, everything I told y'all is going on. It's trending now. These petty crimes, these senseless, sick, weirdo crimes are trending. And we're going to talk about some things today. But the rapper Stash, he up out of here. And he ain't coming back no more because he took his own life after he shot this woman. You know what I'm saying? And they was only in their late 20s. You dig? The mother was 27 and he was 28. And the kids was ranging from 5 to 11 years old. So they got to live with this trauma for the rest of their life. And that's why you keep hearing about all this mental health, because people are actually getting drove into being crazy. And that's what's that on that. Know what I'm saying? And I'm going to speak on something else, being that I'm on that same topic. In Chicago, they say Chicago kids are now going to get 5 days off from school for mental health. Like, you know, holidays, when in Chicago, they're implementing 5 days off that each kid get, like a sick day at work. The kids get 5 days off for mental health. According to the CDC, mental health went up 24% in kids affected by not only the C-19 that's going around, the trauma from the pandemic, but also by gang violence. 24%. They trying to say kids are losing their mind. Now, how is a kid losing their mind when their brain is not even all the way developed? So my whole point is these kids, and they said this is for kids from 16 to 17. It's being implemented in Chicago. They get 5 days off for mental health. That means when these kids get older, they're already going to be labeled as what? Loon balls. They're already going to be labeled as psychos because they're going to be traumatized from look, all these kids, what they're going through right now, majority of them are going to be sick when they get older if you don't teach them right in their brain, if you don't structure them right. Most of these kids now, when they grow up, they're going to be sick. I'm telling you what I know, because they're taking in so much trauma. See, we took in trauma as children, but not this much. And look how we turned out to be crazy. We turned out to be on another level. And we ain't even take this much trauma. You know what I'm saying? I remember growing up, you know, in elementary school, teenager, I used to see rest in peace. You might have, back then, you might have known about 1 or 3 people that died that year that you actually knew. You know what I'm saying? Like 1 to 3 people, something like that. And that was major back then. Like when I was young, it was when our friends died playing in the elevator. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. Some people might have had a friend that died. He drowned in a pool. You know, it was little traumatizing events like that as a kid, but we was able to move on for certain kids' situations because it wasn't happening so random and so random. And then a lot of the other killings was from older dudes. They was from the drug dealers, and we already knew to stay away from that lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? So we didn't have to grow up with all that trauma like they is now, but we had trauma, but now the trauma is times 10. So a lot of these kids, you got to understand, if nobody don't get their mind right, they're already going to grow up with issues. I'm talking about they're going to be having these burdens in their late 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s. They're going to still be traumatized from how they're growing up now. And that's why they say the future don't really look so bright. Because on the other hand, it's other kids growing up in strong households. They're getting educated. They're learning about cryptocurrency. You dig? They're getting, you know, they in certain programs to work their brain out, explore their mind. And, you know, it's another hand of children. They're being groomed to be great. They're learning about nature, health. You see what I'm saying? It's 2 different worlds going on. And that's why I'm trying to tell y'all this stuff is becoming rampant. Anytime the mayor in Chicago implemented 5 days of mental health for kids, and the CDC says 24% of kids have been affected by gang violence in this whole C-19 pandemic, and the percentages of little kids and mental health issues are going up. So what does that tell you? It also tells you that what? They don't have no childhood because they always in the crib. And what they doing in the crib, I can tell you right now what most of these kids are doing in the crib. Simple and plain. They either playing Fortnite, Grand Theft Auto, Black Ops. That's all they doing is playing bang bang games. Let's be real. They gonna play a little sports games here and there, but all these kids are online playing shoot 'em up bang bang games. They don't go outside. They don't ride bikes. They don't play tag. They don't do nothing. They don't play hopscotch. They don't play basketball. They don't play baseball. They don't do nothing. So this is what's going to make them become weirdos when they get older, because they already on lockdown and their brain is being finessed. It's simple and plain. You got to understand that you got to get them kids that balance. That's what it is, because they already got a design. When I seen that whole Generation X symbol a couple years ago, and it was Generation X, and it had a child with some headphones on their head looking down at a phone. So you got to understand what that means. You know what I'm saying? This is what they're already predicting for our children to be already. They're already predicting and programming the whole situation right now as we speak. You dig? I know kids right now that's 14 got a Facebook page, but they can't even pass their grades in school and they barely can read. So what is that telling you? Pay attention. But 5 days off of mental health for the kids in Chicago, and it's been implemented. Another thing in Chicago that we got to talk about, and this is something we all missed, and I'm going to talk about it today. For one, a 911 dispatcher, he spoke out a couple days ago. He spoke out about the mayor, Miss Lightfoot, the mayor of Chicago. And this dispatcher, this 911 dispatcher, is blaming the mayor. He putting a lot of the dirt in Chicago on her. You dig? And his whole point is, what he is saying is, he's saying the children, the youth, the elderly people getting shot, they getting killed and pulled out of vehicles in carjacks with AK-47s in Chicago. Basically, they're saying it's been a Wild West, and it's got worse since this may have been in. But one thing y'all all forgot, and nobody want to talk about this, is, do y'all remember when Donald Trump offered to send the federal agents to Chicago and she said no? Do y'all remember that? When Trump offered to send federal agents to Chicago to cut down on the crime. She said no. Now ask yourself, why did she say no? And why is the crime getting worse? This is what y'all missed because y'all was so busy taught to be mad at Trump. You just thought everything he said was negative. Everything he said was BS. Yeah, he's a politician. Politicians, they say BS. Let's keep it real. He did say a lot of BS, but he said a lot of real stuff too, and he did a lot of real things as well. And my point is, when he offered to send federal troops to Chicago, the mayor said no. So what does that tell you? And we also had a conversation of how in New York, the people get indicted, you know, everywhere else in America, people get indicted in gang activity. Why they don't get indicted for federal gangs? You know, why they don't get federal gang indictments in Chicago? Because what? Obviously, it's something else going on out there we don't know about. So this 911 dispatcher, he is blaming the mayor for all this chaos going on. And they said the carjackers have went up. And you got to remember Chicago, when they put that work in, they use choppers. They use AK-47s. You dig? Grandmothers getting shot. Kids getting shot. All type of people getting shot, jacked up. Because crime is like the Wild West out in Chicago. It ain't that they the toughest city in America. No. They don't have the biggest law enforcement out there locking it down like New York. You heard? In New York, the law enforcement is like the army. You got layers of the army in New York. The NYPD is an army. You got federal agents. You got all type of situations. DEA, ATF. You got many armies in New York, and they don't play because they already, the higher ups in New York already agreed they're not going to let New York get to a certain level of crime. Yeah, crime going to happen, but it ain't going to be like Chicago because they're not going to tolerate that. The same way they put a little lockdown on California. Y'all remember that was a home of the drive-bys. They actually even, you know, they slowed down crime in California more than Chicago. But y'all thought Chirac was the wickedest and they was the most gangster in the country. No, you got to understand something too. Chicago, only a percentage of that city gets buck wild. When you're dealing with the whole state of Illinois, that's a controlled environment where all this stuff going on at. It's certain parts of Chicago that they don't even go like that, and it ain't no crime. But you got to understand one thing. Trump been offered to send them federal agents, and the mayor said no. And you know why her excuse for saying no was because it was going to increase tensions during the George Floyd situation. And most of us already know that George Floyd allegedly was a fiend. You heard? I saw the residue on his nose when they showed him on court TV. They said that boy went out on that Fetty Wap. But the whole world went crazy over George Floyd because you was told to do that and you was orchestrated to do that and you did it. And now nobody even talk about George Floyd no more. I don't see nobody with the Black Lives Matter hoodie on. I don't see nobody taking pictures on the gram with the Black Lives Matter mask on no more. I don't see nobody trying to look cute or trying to look fresh with their Black Lives Matter gear on no more because it ain't a fad no more. And they say it's a group of people in America that loves to indulge in everything that's a fad. It is people that know that, and they've been finessing your brain. That's why everybody from that whole Black Lives Matter has cashed out and they laying low and they chilling right now in their little mansions. You know what I'm saying? They little fly cribs. They chilling right now. And your hood is still getting terrorized. But this is my whole point. The Mayor Lightfoot, she denied federal agents when Trump offered to send them to shut it down, get this crime cleaned up. She didn't want that to happen. So now this 911 dispatcher has blew her up, and he's saying he blames her for half of the murders and all the crime that's out of control in Chicago. He's blaming the mayor. And it's the same mayor that just gave their kids 5 days off a year for mental health conditions. So you got to see what's going on. It's simple and plain. It's politics there. It always has been politics. Like I said, it ain't that Chicago is the toughest city in America. No, that's the city in America where anything goes. And it's called extermination. Simple and plain. And a lot of people don't even know who founded that city. Go find out who founded that city, and you'll find out some things. You know what I'm saying? Who was the founder of that city? All y'all know is Al Capone and how many dudes got shot up every week. But my point is this. Lightfoot, You got to peep what's going on with her, and you got to peep what party she down with. And then when you peep what party all these individuals down with, then you're going to start seeing why you in the situation you in right now, why you was wasting all that energy hating on the wrong people. Now you all jammed up. See? You got to be able to pick the what they say, you got to be able to pick the worst of two evils, man. You know what I'm saying? I told you all in life you got his choices. You got to make the right choice. It ain't always going to be a good choice, but sometimes you got to make the best choice. See? The best choice is different from making the good choice. You got to know what time it is. What they say, you want it in your head or you want it in your gut? Which way you want it at? Your head or in your gut? You got a choice. So what I'm telling you is these are all politics being played on the people, and you got kids getting shot, innocent victims, and carjackings are at a high level in Chicago right now, and they getting them out them cars with them AK-47s. It's also happening in New York as we speak, because I told you in these last days it's going to be what? Trending for home invasions and carjackings. People are now valuable. You and your possessions, like back in the pirate days when they was running down, taking everything from you, taking people, they was kidnapping people, taking their possessions. Is we back to them times? Because what I said, the streets drying up. So that's the situation with that mayor, and she got these kids. They got 5 days off a year for mental health issues. So what kind of stuff is that? We know it don't make no sense. Also, touching up on another story with Lil Wayne. Y'all remember I told you about the story with Lil Wayne and his security guard, how he pulled out, they say allegedly he pulled the AR out on one of his personal security guards in his house. In my opinion, the security guard was trying to be too extra. You know, Lil Wayne is very little, and I'm pretty sure the security guard was trying to violate him in his house, talking crazy, because they did say they had little arguments, and they said allegedly, you know, Lil Wayne put that AR-15 out on that boy. But what this punk security did, he is now pressing charges and claiming that Lil Wayne pulled the gun out. So he's pressing charges to the full extent on Lil Wayne right now as we speak. And we know Lil Wayne fed this man, took care of him. If he had you in his own house, obviously he had to trust you to some degree. You wasn't just no average security guard. And maybe, and my fault, I forgot. It allegedly was over. Part of it was over. The security guard was taking pictures of Lil Wayne without his permission and selling the pictures behind his back. And when Lil Wayne confronted him about it, the security guard tried to base on him and try to get extra. And that's when they said allegedly when the security guard was in the bathroom, Lil Wayne kicked that door open and put that AR-15 in his grill. But you got to remember that was in his own house, and he could have been felt threatened by this bodyguard because the bodyguard was violating by taking pictures of him, selling it behind his back without his permission. But this punk security guard, he is now pressing charges, and he's trying to get Lil Wayne convicted. And we know he's trying to sue him, but he's pressing charges. Once again, you got to watch who you got around you. You don't need people. All Lil Wayne needed was his AR-15. He ain't need no punk security because security ain't going to do nothing when it's all said and done. You don't need them. The security is what you hold down on your own. Secure your own bag, secure your own household. You don't need fake friends acting like they're holding you down because they ain't going to do nothing but carry your casket. That's it. In the words of Jada Kiss. You know what I'm saying? That's it. The people you hang around, they're just going to carry a casket and say rest in peace on the gram, on the book. That's it. They're not going to bang out for you. They're not going to take care of your kids. Anytime a security guard in his own home that he looked out for, now I want to take him to jail, get him locked up. It just shows you how desperate people are right now. And that's the situation with Lil Wayne. That's the update on that situation. I already spoke on that case. But this is new information because the security guard, he's trying to get Lil Wayne locked up for real, for real. So that's what I'm trying to tell y'all, man. And the whole time that security guard, he could have been an op the whole time waiting to set Lil Wayne up. Next topic. And this got to do with Rick Ross. The comedian COREYHOLCOMB, or HOLCOMB, I say HOLCOMB, whatever you want to say, Corey from the 85 South Show. In my opinion, he's corny. He ain't that funny. But the 85 South Show, they've been grinding for a long time. And, you know, they got a deal with Charlamagne for a podcast. I get it. But this individual tried to disrespect Rick Ross because in the middle of the interview, they was having an interview, and Rick Ross said he was going to the bathroom, and he slid off, and he did come back. And these dudes felt violated, and in my opinion, they tried to slander Rick Ross, or this man Corey tried to slander Rick Ross. And it just shows you, and I'm going to break it down when I finish the story. Now, it said that comedian COREYHOLCOMB says Rick Ross left the 85 South Show interview. And what they're saying is he's trying to say basically he said that Rick Ross left because once Rick Ross realized that none of the hosts on the show was gay, he got mad and left. That's what he tried to say. Stupidity. But check it out. He said because he is gay and he realized none of the hosts are gay. They said Rose said he had to use the bathroom and never came back. Corey said to Rick Ross, if you're watching, stop hiring drivers because drivers always tell on you, nigga. I know what happened at LAX with that boy. Basically trying to say that the driver been snitching on Rick Ross and say that Rick Ross had a situation at the LAX airport in LA with a boy, or trying to say he had some type of altercation with a boy in his car or was dealing with a boy. I don't know. And it's all alleged. I'm not co-signing none of this. But this is the situation. They got mad because Rick Ross left. And then after Rick Ross left, this comedian Corey tried to slander Rick Ross by saying, stop hiring drivers because drivers tell on you. And he said, nigga, I know what happened at LAX with that boy. So my point is this. If you felt that way about Rick Ross from the beginning, why did you have him on your show in the first place? Or are you just mad because Rick Ross doodled on y'all and he walked off, now you want to slander his name? Because you got to remember, whenever somebody want to slander somebody, they're either going to say they're gay, they're going to say they're a snitch, or they're going to put false rape allegations on them. It's always going to be the three. It's always going to be the three. But my point is, if you felt like he was messing with little boys, and if you felt like he didn't want to be on your show because none of y'all comedians or none of y'all hosts on the show are gay, and you felt like he left because none of y'all was gay, why did you interview him in the first place? But you got mad when he walked off, and now you want to slander him. So I'm showing you what cowards do, because he doodled on them and walked off in the middle of their show. He said, I'm going to the bathroom. He slid off. He probably said these dudes are corny. I'm not feeling his energy. I'm out. You see what I'm trying to tell you? And one of Rick Ross' peoples, which was a female that was with him, one of his workers, you know, when they was like, where he at? She told him Rick Ross, so he went to the airport. He up out of here. You know what I'm saying? And then once they got that information, that's when the comedian Corey tried to slander that man. You see? But that's my whole point, to show you how these dudes get down, how suckers get down. They will befriend you for clout. When it's for clout, when you helping them out, it's all good. Soon as you don't want to help them no more, or you don't want to be bothered with them, they want to slander your name. And these are traits of a female. Matter of fact, this is worse than a female behavior. Because what they say, some of you dudes are bitches too. Actually, some of you dudes are worse than bitches. And y'all don't even get periods. So you don't get no excuse. Let's keep it real. Because we know that the 85 South Show, they've been out for a while, but in my opinion, they corny. They always pulling shenanigans. And you got these dudes who do anything for $1. Because remember, once you sign that contract and you get a certain amount of bread, you got to keep that show going, or that show will get canceled and you're going to owe a lot of money. So on that half, that's when people to start saying anything to keep their show relevant, to keep themselves going. We see the same thing on YouTube where dudes, they get used to having a certain amount of views, a certain amount of checks. But when they start slowing up and things start looking funny, that's when they start pulling shenanigans to get back in position, or to keep the show going. So this comedian, he slandered Rick Ross and said he was gay, and told him specifically, he tried to make it like his driver is the one snitching on him. His driver's putting his sexual business out there, and he says, it's always the drivers that telling you, nigga, I know what happened at LAX at that airport with that boy. You know what I'm saying? And he's trying to make allegations saying that the driver been putting him on blast, putting Rick Ross information out there, trying to say he like little boys. But my point is this: if you felt that way about him, Why did you have him on the show, Mr. Corey Holcomb? And why you ain't say that to his face? Because you was a sucker. So these are all allegations, and I'm not co-signing none of this. You dig? But I had to put it out here because this is news, and this is what happened. You know what I'm saying? Rick Ross shitted on that man. He got mad and tried to slander him, and he tried to make allegations that a lot of these entertainers, they driver be telling on them. So they need to watch who they hire as drivers. And he tried to make slip implications that the driver already been putting him on blast about how he liked to deal with boys and things of that nature. So that just shows you how desperate and low these dudes is. So it is what it is. It is all alleged. I have no information on this. It's all alleged. So it is what it is. But I want to show you how my whole point of this situation, how he waited till Rick Ross walked out the show on him to try to slander him. See, if you was real, when Rick Ross first was in an interview, you would have said that information to his face. But you probably was sitting there smiling, laughing, all on his nuts. And when he wasn't feeling y'all vibe, you try to say, oh, he left because he felt like none of y'all was gay. And he couldn't. Come on, I'm showing you stupidity. So it just shows you that, like I said, man, watch who you hang around, because these are the same people, when you're looking out for them, they'll try to slander you. And we've been seeing, as the years go by, we're seeing more and more slander campaigns. That's that with that. You know what I'm saying? That's that with Rick Ross in that situation. We have no facts. That's what it is. Salute to the chat. Kevin Stone, what up, my bro? What up, Wax Dog? I see you. Allen, once again, we cooking right now. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is. Next topic is this boy Freddie Gibbs. You know what I'm saying? And Freddie Gibbs has been talking very greasy. You know what I'm saying? He's been talking real reckless lately. Because you got to understand, I told y'all before, Freddie Gibbs, he do have like a cult following. There's a lot of people that do like his music, and a lot of people do go to his shows. You got to understand that. He does get his thing on. Like I told y'all recently, not Jim Jones, but recently Jada Kiss did a feature with him. You know what I'm saying? Jada Kiss been getting a bag with Freddie Gibbs as well. But my point is, Freddie Gibbs goes off on Uncle Murder, and he told Uncle Murder, go pay your rent, bitch. You know what I'm saying? Because he got mad because in that 2021 wrap-up, Uncle Murder, he threw shots at Freddie Gibbs for that altercation he had with Jim Jones. And he also threw implications at Freddie Gibbs for having law enforcement in his family. You know what I'm saying? Because it is alleged that he has law enforcement in his family, but we know that don't got nothing to do with Freddie Gibbs and his career. That's all I'm saying on that. But Uncle Murder dissed Freddie Gibbs in his 2021 wrap-up, and Freddie Gibbs shot back, and he told Uncle Murder, go pay your rent, bitch. And he said, so many New York rappers is on my nuts right now. I can't wait to go to y'all city and show you how to sell out a show. He said New York City should be ashamed of y'all non-rapping ass niggas. You know what I'm saying? He said, this my city now. You know what I'm saying? That's what he said out of his mouth. He was talking reckless about how a lot of New York rappers can't rap. They can't sell out no shows. And he said that's his city, because I do know, I'm going to keep it real, when Freddie Gibbs do go to New York and perform, a lot of people do show up at his show. Don't ask me why. You know what I'm saying? But it's mighty funny how Freddie Gibbs from Indiana, and he talk a whole lot of junk, because guess what? A lot of people co-signed him. And now he's another one. A lot of them let him in the city. They let him in New York. They get next to him. You know, a lot of these rappers, when they wasn't popping, they had a lot of rappers coming into the city, and these same rappers will let them open up, let them open up at the venue, let them get their shine, let them get a bag. But now these same rappers are turning on New York rappers and calling them washed up and saying that they can't pay their bills. Because Freddie Gibbs, he told Uncle Murder, go pay your rent, bitch. Trying to say he got financial problems. You know what I'm saying? But my point is this. It is what it is. I got respect for Uncle Murder. Uncle Murder is from East New York. And it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? This is rap beef. This ain't nothing real. Just like, in my opinion, that whole Freddie Gibbs, Jim Jones situation, that was staged as well, in my opinion. In my opinion. You know what I'm saying? That was all hype. Because we still did not see nobody with no beat up face, and we did not see nobody getting hands and feet put on them. Let's be real. If I don't know, somebody please send me the link. Because I ain't see nobody get violated in real life. I didn't see no footage. So far as we know, none of that was real. You dig? Period. It's my opinion. But that's what Freddie Gibbs say. He say Uncle Murder need to go pay his bills, and he said there's a lot of New York rappers on his nuts right now. And he said he can't wait to come to New York and perform and sell that show out. That's what he said out his own mouth. So Freddie Gibbs, he got a lot of mouth. You know what I'm saying? He got to back it up now. That part we do know. He got to back that up. You know what I'm saying? Now we got another situation. This is another situation we got to talk on right here. And this got to deal with chicks out here dealing in sexual activity, aka prostitution, tricking. And I told y'all before, a lot of chicks, y'all need to slow down and be easy, because a lot of y'all are going to be victims in these last days trying to so-called sell something to a dude. I'm talking about these Instagram models and Instagram whores. I'm not knocking nobody's hustle, but I got to keep it real. I told you about how a lot of these women are going to be victims in the last day trying to sell that box. A lot of dudes are going to be violating them and beating them up, taking their money. I'm trying to tell you, y'all going to make yourself targets out there. And I'm not trying to slander no woman for got to get her bag, but I got to keep it real, and I got to talk graphic details, because a lot of y'all ain't going to make it trying to get that bag. Now check this out. This was a story a couple weeks ago, and it did go over a lot of people's head, but it's been brought back up. And it says a family is seeking answers after a 23-year-old woman was found dead in her apartment after meeting an older man on a dating app. And they specifically said it was an older white man. All right. It said this 23-year-old woman met an older white man on a dating app. And this happened in Connecticut. You did? The Connecticut family is seeking answers after their loved one, 23-year-old Lawrence Smith Fields, was found deceased in her apartment. Her family says that she met an older white man on the dating app called Bumble. And I didn't want to promote this app, but I'm going to speak on the app, because I'm telling you, you need to stay your ass off of Bumble if you be on Bumble. I never even heard of Bumble, but don't be messing with Bumble, because you might end up out of here. You smell me? I'm talking to the females right now. You know what I'm saying? It says she met an older white man on a dating app, Bumble. Investigators have not made any comments about the incident, and the medical examiner has not released a cause of death. Now, the victim, her brother, asked about the older white man, and they told him that he was a very nice man, and he is no need to be investigated. Now, Lauren's father said he knows without a doubt. We know that my daughter, and I had a second autopsy. Basically, he was saying he know that his daughter does not deal with any type of drugs. He said he knows his daughter does not deal with any type of drugs. You understand? And he said that he had a second autopsy done. And he also said that the police, they were speaking very insensitive and very arrogantly to him. And this is still a still ongoing case. But the father, he basically made a point to say that he knows for a fact his daughter didn't do no drugs. And he also said he did a second autopsy. And he also said that the detectives was very insensitive and they was being arrogant to him. Now, I got to speak on this, and this is my opinion. We know this case can go two ways. It can go two ways. We got to keep it real. Now, we're going to break this down with common sense. First, I'm going to G-check the dad. Okay, I see the dad want to go hard now. But why you did not go hard when you seen your 23-year-old daughter was dealing with an old white man, allegedly? Why you didn't say nothing then? Another thing I'm going to say, what was your daughter doing on an app called Bumble? And we already know if she was on an app called Bumble,
A lot of people we already know. Back page is up out of here. Ain't no more Craigslist. OnlyFans is what it is. And they got to find outlets to get that bag. And this allegedly, but we got to keep it real. And this is probably why the police was downplaying it, because they probably already knew what time it was. They probably saw her social media accounts. And if you know about Connecticut, if you know about that area, Massachusetts, people that know about that area, it's a lot of tricking that go on. A lot of selling that box going out there. You heard? So let's keep it real. Now, back to the father and the brother. If she was dating an old white man, yeah, maybe that was her sugar daddy, but you telling me you was cool with that, huh? But this something else I'm going to say. Let's keep it real. If she was selling a box and she had a sugar daddy and she was on an app, who's to say that that's still the man that did it? She could have had a couple of tricks after that white man, in between that white man, and could have been doing her thing, getting money from all type of people. Ain't no telling who did this to her. And the police know better. And they said, calm down, sir. He basically wanted to say your daughter was tricking, but they ain't say that. Because common sense is she got an older white man off of an app. We know that she like to get her money off the application. So let's be real. We ain't got to act stupid. And this allegedly. All right? Let's keep it real. Because dad, why you didn't G-check your daughter when she was dealing with an older white man, as y'all say? And she had an older brother. Why y'all ain't say nothing then? And remember, she had her own apartment, which means what? She had to pay her own bills. So how was she paying her own bills? And how many fathers could say the same thing, that my daughter don't get high? We would love the fact our daughters don't get high, but can we actually prove that our daughters don't get high if we not with them every day? And they get caught up in situations like this. Like I told y'all, it's a difference between a civilian and a person that don't do nothing. See, a person that does everything right is a civilian. But when you got a woman that so-called might be a good girl, but she got behavior like this, meeting, dating older white man for money, that's not civilian behavior. You wouldn't get caught slaying in your crib if you wasn't dealing with no type of apps with that type of behavior. You wouldn't be getting slayed like that. This is my opinion. Because if I see my daughter with an older white man or any older man, I'm going to G-check her. I'm going to G-check him. I'm going to see what's really going on. So I'm going to be aware, and I'm going to let them know any suspect activity, I'm going to pull up. And my point is, I'm going to pop up random. I'm going to do all type of behavior to let them know, to let that man know, don't try nothing stupid. But at the end of the day, I'm not dealing with that. You can't tell a woman what to do. Don't be wrong. When she older, she was 23 years old. But as a daddy, you supposed to already know what time it was when she dealing with an older white man. What can that older white man do for your daughter? But you probably was cool because long as your daughter was out your house and she was paying that rent and she probably had that money coming in, you was cool with that. Because long as she wasn't asking you for no money, dad. She got it from that older white man. That was her daddy, her sugar daddy. You probably was cool with that. And her brother. Because you probably was benefiting off what your sister was doing. If you was cool with it then. But now when she dead, oh, I don't know what's going on. There's something suspect with that man. But who's to say it was that man? Ain't no tell how many tricks she was dealing with. Ain't no many tell how many sugar daddies she had. Let's be real. Because the police did investigate the man, and they say he was a nice guy. And I'm not taking up for that man neither, but my point is this. Once you live in a lifestyle of tricking, anything can happen. We know this. We know tricks. How many of y'all watch For My Man and Fatal Attraction? I seen an episode where the girl was tricking in Florida. Her husband was in the military. While he was overseas, she was in America tricking in Florida on Facebook, all type of apps, and she was tricking with this particular white boy, and he killed her. And when they locked the white boy up, they asked him, why did he kill her? He said, I don't know. He said, it just when I was having sex with her, something just came over me. But we know he was high. He was high on all type of drugs. We know that. But that boy said out of his own mouth, when he was being investigated, he said while they was having sex, something came over him to kill that girl. And this happened in Florida. And this was a special on TV. I seen it myself. So my point is, you got weirdos out here. They might just get off on that. That's why I be telling you, you got to watch who you dealing with when you selling that box and that to random people. Now, I'm not going to knock the hustle. You got people it is what it is. You got people you know, grew up with. It is what it is. But I'm talking about them random cereal sellers. You got serial trickers. Like you got serial dudes that buy the box. You got serial girls that'll sell a box to anybody. They like stalkers. Those are the ones that be in your inbox trying to sell it. They try to sell it whatever they go, any chance they get, they're trying to sell it. Those are the ones that end up finito. And I'm telling you now, in these last days, a lot of dudes are going to be perpetrating like they want to buy something from you, but all they're trying to do is run up in your house, take your possessions, and leave you up out of there. That's what a lot of them are going to be doing. Because you got a lot of weirdos that know if you selling it, 9 times out of 10, you got money. You got possessions. So that's why I'm trying to tell you how that whole game is rigged. You're going to be set up for failure. And when you selling it, you selling that box, that juice box, when you selling that, and you got a dude that's with you, and y'all busting moves, that falls under sex trafficking. So I'm trying to show you how they already got that whole market cornered. That's why the police was like, in this case, he was like, yeah, whatever. I've seen this before. You know what I'm saying? My point is, this woman was found at her crib in Connecticut, and she was gone. And she was dating an older white man off an app called Bumble, which I never even heard of. But my point is, they still do not know who did this. And they said that she was on drugs. So we just got to let this situation play out and see what's going on. But guess what? This is also part of what's trending in the country right now. Because I'm trying to tell you, now it ain't also about what people want. It's the look, man. You heard about that saying, your money or your life? Well, now they're taking both, or they taking one or the other. That's what's going on right now. You know what I'm saying? That's what's going on. So stop inviting entities into your surroundings, and you won't be caught slipping. And now I'm going to go into something else, which is going to relate to what I just said. And this happened in New York City and Queens, because Queens been turning up too. All the 5 boroughs been turning up. A man was shot twice during an attempted carjacking in Queens the other day. The NYPD says a man was shot multiple times during an attempted carjacking in Queens on Monday night. According to the NYPD, officers found the 51-year-old victim with gunshot wounds to the arm and chest. 2 men tried to carjack him for his Audi Q7. And the suspects fled in a black sedan and no arrest was made. So let's look into this right here. For one, we know these dudes already had a car. They wasn't on foot. They was following this dude and they pulled up on him. Then when they tried to carjack him, what happened? He probably didn't want to get out the car and they gave it to him right there on the spot. And this is not the first time this happening, because I told y'all it's your possessions that they want now. Anytime we got carjackers in New York City, we already know the bag is slowing up. We already know this because they want, guess what? They want the car with the keys. I told y'all last week about the dudes that ran up an old boy crib, 43 years old, gave him that work, took his keys to his what? His Benz and pulled off. This is what's becoming of it now. This is the new wave. Grand Theft Auto 5, or actually Grand Theft Auto 5 times 10. That's what's going on right now. Jackings, kidnappings, and invasions. You smell me? This was going on because this was a 51-year-old man flexing, chilling in his G-Ride, you heard, hitting them corners, but he didn't know he was being followed. For the simple fact, they hopped out a whip, jumped out on him, and then gave him them shots, hopped back in another whip, got away clean. That just shows you that dudes was plotting and they were some smooth criminals. Because look, that's how fast he could have lost his life over that car. And you got to understand something. That's what car insurance is for. But you got some dudes, they'll lose their life over a vehicle. When the whole time you got full coverage insurance on that Audi, and you're supposed to just let them take that car. That's it. But some dudes, they love material things so much and they pride that they'll die over a car. You heard? Now what we used to floss in now becomes a headache. Just like when I was driving, you know what I'm saying? When I was driving, you know what I'm saying, the Q45 I had, not the Q45, but the Infinity. I had the coupe joint. I used to keep that hammer on me because I had to. And because I used to get a lot of certain attention I ain't want, certain hoods, certain attention. And I started feeling that heat Then at the time, I was doing my ones and twos. You heard I was doing my little thing. So I used to feel all the extra tension for no reason. And I used to feel like I had to be grippy. And that's how I had to G-check myself like, yo, now I'm legit, but now I'm putting myself in situations where I might got to get dirty again. I might got to take somebody's life over just, you know what I'm saying, stupidity. So that's why I understand what's going on right now. And for those that drive on foreigns or been in them foreign, you already know what time it is. And most people know, I'm gonna tell you something else. That's another reason why I learned why police always pull over people in foreign cars, because they know it's a high chance you got a gun in the car to protect yourself. They know that already. That's why when you're in that foreign, you get pulled over a lot, especially in New York City. Because they know in New York, when you riding that Bentley, that Maybach, you riding in something nice, they know you 9 times out of 10, you got that thing on you. So it go both ways. The police harass you, and then you got the criminals that think you got the bag and they want to get at you. So that's how, you know, foreign cars, they always bring a certain energy to them. And when you move in them, you got to move strategic in a certain way. That's just how it plays out. You know what I'm saying? That's how it plays out. Pardon me, not the Q. I had the G37. You know what I mean? So that's my whole point. You got to know how to move. It's people out here lurking. They're lurking. While you sleep, they lurking. They looking in your parking lot. They looking in your driveway. You feel me? They watching you busting your moves. And then when they feel like the time is right, they running down on you. That's what's going on. So it's a double-edged sword. You feel me? You got to protect yourself. But at the same time, part of protecting yourself is staying off the radar, not being seen. That's part of the whole movement, not being seen. Laying low, moving discreet, moving real discreet and very distinctive. Because this man was 51 years old, and let's be real, it's not worth jacking no man for no, you know what I'm saying, no vehicle, period. But they wanted to jack him for that Audi Q7. Because maybe it's about to go back to Menace to Society days where it's a lot of carjackings and dudes going to be stripping them cars down, breaking them down, selling them parts online. You dig? Because we already know a car broke down is worth more online than it is selling it as a whole. That's the new wave going on. This happened in Queens on Monday night. A man got shot up. And them dudes, they hopped in another car and they got away clean. You know what I'm saying? Another thing which happened, and this happened in my hood of East New York, Brooklyn. You smell me? And this also got to do with the 5G technology that they're using. This is a crime that happened on December 3rd. Now, it happened on December 3rd, but the police just released the evidence yesterday. And it was the Brooklyn Burger King that's on Linden Boulevard of Pennsylvania Ave, for those that know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? But it was a Brooklyn Burger King worker who was beat up, and the attackers jumped over the counter, and they held the worker down and continued to put hands and feet on him and beat him bloody in back of the Burger King. Right behind the counter, they beat him down. You know what I'm saying? And a few employees, they came up to help him, but the fact of the matter is they demolished that dude, and it's on camera. But the point is, the police are just now releasing that footage. And that's what I was telling y'all before. Y'all know what I said. A lot of these crimes are going down, and you might think you got away with it, but they just do the backtracking homework now. It might take them a day to backtrack. It might take them a week. It might take them a month. But they backtrack the camera play, and then that's when they pull it up through the technology, and now they're looking for your arrest. The same way I told you about the dude, he shot somebody on a train all the way in Harlem, but they caught him at his crib in Brooklyn weeks later because he thought he got away. You know what I'm saying? But this shows you how they hopped over the counter. They beat this dude bloody in Burger King. Put hands, they violated him. I don't know if he was talking greasy. I don't know if he owed somebody money. I don't know. But they hopped over that counter and they beat him down. They did him dirty. And my point is this. They are just now releasing the footage on this situation. Because remember, we had a conversation about how the new mayor in New York, he took an oath and he sworn that he's about to put in a whole another crime fighting agency operation into New York City, and they're going to be coming after all criminals at a very high level. This is what's going on right now as we speak. And another thing which also has been announced in New York City is that This weekend, they are shutting down certain trains. They are shutting down certain trains, and some of them just so happen to go through certain hoods. New York City subway suspends services on January 7th, which is this weekend, and they're going to suspend service on the B train, the W train, the Z train, but also the 6 train. The 6 train in the Bronx. Y'all know that 6 train start from the Bronx and they go through Harlem. Yeah, they're going to be suspending service on that 6 train. They're also going to be suspending service on the 7 train, but this is another vital train, which is the A train in Far Rockaway, Queens. They're going to be suspending service on the A train from Far Rock. And we know a lot of people from Far Rock need that A train to get to the city. But my point is this. They trying to trap all people from the hoods for making certain moves like that, because they know certain people to make their moves, they got to move around on that train. And we know about all the crime that happened on the train. And they're suspending the service. So you know what suspend mean? Suspend mean they shutting it down for a certain amount of time, or they're going to make it very, very slow and complicated. And it was also said that it's going to take double time to get to certain destinations now. So this is how they're slowing down the city. And we know this is a city that never sleep and everybody move fast and got to make moves. But this is their way of slowing it down. So now you can't make moves like that. Meanwhile, the police are stepping up at a high level. Everything is starting to become what? Locked down. So this is all simple mathematics of what's going on. And meanwhile, what else going on? They say what? The case is going up. So all this stuff that you see right now, you got to be able to comprehend. Because remember, new year means new structure, new law enforcement, new things are going to develop. You see? He just told you, man. Whatever happened over there always happens over here next. Y'all heard about the C-19 over there first? Where it happened at? Then it came over here. You always got to watch what's going on overseas as well. But see, a lot of y'all was just trained to watch what happened on here. But no, you got to see what happened all over. You heard? See what it say on the screen right there, man. Yeah, because a lot of people don't know London got hoods. Some people know. A lot of people go out there and take big losses. You know what I'm saying? They get violated. They think it's sweet. No. They're already suspending. They're suspending the train system. They're slowing down buses. They're making it hard for you to move around. You know what I'm saying? They're making it hard for you to get to the bag. And they also try to make it hard for criminals to move around because they know most criminals are broke and they need that train to get around. So that's their way of slowing them down. But guess what? Even the hardworking people and the civilians, they get inconvenienced, you know what I'm saying, with this whole situation. So let's look at it. They slowing down the trains on one hand, and then if you want to drive your nice car, you got to worry about being jacked. So even if you do want to park your car and lay low and get on the train, they try to make it hard for you to do that. Y'all see what's going on, man. I ain't got to keep beating a dead horse. And that's what time it is. Salute to the chat. I see all y'all vibing, 71 in the building. Salute to everybody that's watching right now. You know what I'm saying? This episode 74, the 4Nofame live show. I'm going to do a recap for everybody that just pulled up. I'm going to do a little recap. And I was talking about the rapper Stash, Jay Stash to be exact. He reportedly committed suicide after killing his mother in front of their 3 kids. The 3 kids range from 5 to 11. You heard? And he took her out, and then he took himself out. And like I said earlier, we know this dude was a coward, or he was some type of weirdo for him to have to put work in on his shorty in front of the kids and take himself out. And he's another dude. They made a point to say that he was a rapper. And like I said earlier, it's like rapper is the new word for weirdo now. It's like they're trying to put everything foul on rappers. Y'all notice what's going on. Everything foul, it get put on rappers. Or rapper name is always a something foul. And we know rappers are not the only one with this type of behavior, but when you're dealing with this slander campaign, it's like the rappers are the new bad guys now. And I told you this also is a trend in America of a lot of dudes folding, flipping out, killing a woman, and then taking themselves out. In some situations, they also are killing, shooting the kids too. So this made national news yesterday, and this man was 28 and the woman was 23. And these kids are going to be traumatized for the rest of their life because they had to see their mother be a victim of gun violence. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not going to say rest in peace to Jay Stash. You understand? It is what it is. I also spoke about how the mayor of Chicago has given the school system kids from 6 to 17, the kids in Chicago get 5 days off a year for mental health issues. It's called mental health days. You know, like sick days, they get mental health days for the kids in Chicago. And the CDC says that mental health went up 24%. And they say that the kids are being affected by this whole pandemic and gang violence. So I spoke on earlier how the kids are literally becoming out of their mind. They're being drove to be mentally health, mental health, mentally ill, whatever you want to call it. You know, I got to use the right words, but they are basically admitting that the kids are becoming so traumatized in this new world we in that they need 5 days off just for mental health alone. We ain't talking about holidays. We're not talking about sick because they got a cold. For mental health alone, they're giving them 5 days just to take off and chill out. And they said that this is happening on a regular basis because they said that the crime is psycho and it's out of control in Chicago. And I told you also about how the 911 dispatcher threw the mayor under the bus, and he said all of this is her fault. And he blamed the 911 dispatcher. He blamed the mayor for every child, every youth, and every elderly person shot, killed, and pulled out of their vehicles, carjacked with AK-47s. He blamed it on the mayor. And then I also spoke about how y'all forgot about how Donald Trump offered to send federal agents to Chicago to help with the crime. And what? The mayor said no. And what's happened? More and more people, actually, it has got even more chaotic in Chicago. And her whole point was she didn't want federal agents to come down there because it would have increased the tensions over the George Floyd situation. And for those that didn't hear earlier, I told you that George Floyd, he was playing with that nose stuff. You dig? That man died allegedly from that Fetty Wap. You heard? Because I saw it. I saw the picture when they did the close-up of that man's nose on court TV. That man had white residue all on his nose. And they say that boy died from that Fetty Wap. Allegedly. But the whole fact of the matter, y'all already know George Floyd had a whole shady background. His whole background was suspect. And that man was on drugs. But they tore up the whole country on the strength of this one man. And she said that she didn't want federal agents to come help in Chicago with the crime because it would increase tension. Or maybe this mayor might know some things that we don't know about and we just need to shut up. Because we know in New York City, you got federal agents, you dig? For the past couple of years, the past 10 years plus, all the gangs have been getting indicted. Now, mostly all the gangs, they get indicted on federal charges known as RICO. And then somebody said a couple weeks ago, why they gangs never go down on the RICO law? Now you know why. Now you know why. Now you should know why they don't go down on RICO charges. Everywhere else, crimes get controlled. But something about Chicago, they let them live. So y'all got to peep what's going on. I ain't going to talk too much on that situation. And I'm going to say it again for those that didn't hear me. Chicago is not the worst city in America. That's just one of the cities where they let them do what they want to do. They let crime get out of control. You heard? I know plenty of places where they play with them choppers all day. You heard? Dudes ride around with 100-round drums and they get busy and they put that work in. But it's controlled. They shut down crime in a lot of places and they have federal indictments. You dig? But Chicago, you never heard about a federal indictment in the modern times, period. And this same mayor said she don't want no federal agents down there making their presence known on that type of level. And this 911 dispatcher has blew her up and threw her under the bus. And he said all these crimes are happening because of her. This ain't my words. This is what the 911 dispatcher said about the mayor. Said a lot of this blood is on her hands. So that's that on that. I also spoke about, you know what I'm saying, the comedian Corey Holmes, COREYHOLCOMB or HOLCOMB, whatever his name is, I don't care, because he ain't funny, from the 85 South Show, on how he tried to make allegations, say that Rick Ross was gay. You understand? He got mad because they was doing the show, and Rick Ross said he had to go to the bathroom, and when he went to the bathroom, he slid out the back door and went to go catch a flight, and he was up out of there. Now, in my opinion, Rick Ross probably felt like there were some clowns and there were some cornballs, and he didn't want to do the show no more, and he dipped off on them. So once he did that, Mr. Corey, he got mad. And he started talking to the camera. And he said to Rick Ross, if you are watching, stop hiring drivers because drivers always tell on you. And then he went on to say, nigga, I know what happened at the LAX airport with that boy. Trying to say that the driver told him about Rick Ross doing some type of funny stuff with another boy or another man. That's what COREYHOLCOMB tried to say. But my point is this, Mr. Corey, whatever your name is, why you didn't say that to Rick Ross' face when you first started the interview? In my opinion, also, if you felt like Rick Ross was a funny type of dude, why did you even try to have him on your show? But no, you felt a certain way when he shitted on you and he walked off on your show, and then you try to slander that man. That's all this looked like to me. It looks like a bitter, scorned comedian because, oh boy, you was not that funny. I seen your show, in my opinion, it's trash. You dig? And y'all been doing y'all thing for a while, but I know y'all got that deal with Charlemagne, you heard, and the suspect allegations behind him, and he cut y'all that check. So you gonna say whatever to keep that bag going and keep your show going. But this stunt he pulled on Rick Ross, this was kind of foul because he waited till Rick Ross leave to say these false allegations about you need to stop hiring drivers because drivers always tell on you. But what's this driver name that told on him? Who is the driver? As far as we know, you freestyling right now. But my point is, he tried to say stop hiring drivers because drivers always tell on you. And yeah, the drivers do always tell on these entertainers. They do. They spill the beans. They tell. My point is this. He talking about, I know what happened with you at that LAX airport, boy. But it's mighty funny, right? This is another thing I'm going to prove to you. One of Rose's, like one of his managers or one of his assistants, when Rick Ross left out the back and went to and slid off, one of Rick Ross' assistants told Corey and them, Rick Ross is not coming back. He about to catch a flight. So it's mighty funny you happen to be speaking about him at a LAX airport. That's how I know you're lying. Because you just said that you know about the allegations of what happened with him at the airport, but it's mighty funny he was going to the airport and then you sat there and threw the LAX airport in your lie because you knew he was going to the airport. Now you're going to try to say that the driver told you about what happened with Rick Ross at the LAX airport. You see, that's how they tell on themselves. You was mad he went to the airport and left your show, and then you try to say that he was doing suspect activity with a limo driver at the airport. Showing you these dudes are frauds. Period. I also spoke on how Freddie Gibbs disrespected Uncle Murder, and he said, Uncle Murder, go pay your rent, bitch. And he said so many New York rappers are on his nuts right now. He can't wait to go to the city and put on at the show and show them how to sell out a real show and how to rock the crowd. You know what I'm saying? He said New York City should be ashamed of all y'all rapping, all y'all non-rapping ass niggas. He said, this my shit now. That's what he said about New York City. You know what I'm saying? And this happened after Uncle Murder dissed him on a 2021 wrap-up. He got mad because, you know, y'all know how Uncle Murder get down on that wrap-up. But Freddie Gibbs, he took shots at a lot of New York rappers. And I already told you, Freddie Gibbs, he already been in Brooklyn. He already been selling out shows a lot of places. But he is cool with Jadakiss, and he got Jadakiss featured on his new album. And he's not talking about Jadakiss. He's talking about a lot of the other rappers that really can't rap. Y'all figure that out. You know what I'm saying? And I also spoke about how people need to stop tricking. A lot of you females need to stop tricking, and you need to be easy because you out here being victims. And I spoke about the 23-year-old woman that was found slain in her apartment, and they said that she was dating an older white man and playing on an app called Bumble. But in my opinion, ain't no telling who could have violated this woman, because if she was tricking and doing certain things, I'm pretty sure she had a nice clientele, because she did have to pay rent for that crib. And my other whole point was, in my opinion, if the father and the brother already knew she was dating an older white man, why you ain't say nothing? Why you want to wait till she dead to say something now? You should have been said something. That's my opinion. You know what I'm saying? That's that on that. Salute to the chat. What's going on, family? Princess India, good morning. Kenya Range from Cali tapping in as usual all the time. What up, bro? I see y'all. I see this clown troll right here. You heard? This is a bozo that want to try to send spam. You know, if you start talking real talk, they're going to come with that bull. You heard? That's how they do. Victoria Goods. Let's get it. That's right. Nowadays, they want your money or your life. Queen of Detroit, what's good? My boy Gotti Savage, what up? I see y'all, man. I was just busy. You heard? Y'all know I'm gonna run through this right here real quick. The queen of attraction. What's up, sis? The bro, Mr. X. What up, bro? You know what time it is, homie? What's poppin', Ola? Period, man. That's right. That's right. It's in full effect. I better know what time it is. This right here is a mental game going on. You better know what time it is. And there's also a game called the Have and the Have-Nots. Y'all already know what's going on. It's about having knowledge and some people that don't have knowledge as well. You know what I'm saying? Some people are going to be victims and some people are going to be extra safe. That's just how this thing works, man. The choice is yours. That's about it, man. It's the 4Nofame live episode 74. And for those that just pulled up, you take it from the beginning. You understand? Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you're new. Don't forget to hit the all notification bell, because I'm going to be coming with content. A lot of content. You heard? Don't forget to hit the all notification bell. And don't forget to leave a comment if you family. You heard? And also share on all platforms. You don't got to just share it on YouTube. Whatever platform you want to share it on, you can share it on, or you can tell a friend and tell a friend. Because we got more to come. Also, don't forget to subscribe to Grown Man Talk, the channel with me and my homie P. We do the show Monday through Friday, 8 p.m., Grown Man Talk. So like I said, we just bringing the content for the new year. So when you bored or you want to vibe, you can pull up and you can get some out the day. You know what I'm saying? And we're going to start this day off right. We're going to get through the day because y'all know what time it is. This is what we do. It's very hectic out here, but guess what? We're going to be all right. That's what time it is. And with that note, y'all already know what time it is. I'm about to get up out of here. One. What up, Diz?